It's Sunday, and you know the Baltimore Ravens post-game show is live and in living color yet again for another week. You watch the game, you know the result. 26-23. Ravens fall to 0-2. The Ravens post-game show. Make sure you guys stack that subscribe button, stick that like button. Go ahead and bulldoze that bell. Vote on the poll. What is the reason behind the 0-2 start? And what is your next move? Is here Eric Acosta and Steve Bisciotti with a trip to Jerry World looming next Sunday afternoon. Official Ravens post-game show, all present and accounted for. Let's get to it here on the Flex Zone. Woo! Baltimore Ravens post-game show. I don't even have anything catchy to say because it ain't time for fun and games today. It's all about business. The official Baltimore Ravens post-game show here yet again. The crew's all here. Ravens fall to the Las Vegas Raiders 26-23, blowing another 10-point lead, falling to 0-2. We're going to talk all about it. Let's introduce the crew, and they know they got a lot to say. And we're kicking things off with the one, the only social media man, Big Raj. What's going on, my guy? How you feeling today after that tough loss? You were out and about watching it with the people.
No bread, no water, just me.
Finish him, Daddy.
That's one big son of a bitch!
Boy, oh boy, oh boy. I just had to take some time, after watching the game. I had to go somewhere, go to the gym, work off some calories, relax my mind, because watching them is just so frustrating. It's extremely, extremely frustrating. But we'll get into it. I don't know what else to say, but we'll get into it.
This next man, he had to step outside the house, but he puts the D in the DMV, and ladies love the D. It is the one, the only, D.O. Damas. What is going on, my brother? How you feeling?
Not much, man. Was on assignment today. Watched the Raven debacle while I was on assignment, and then just God. It's like Roger said, so much stuff to get into. It's not one thing; it's a bunch of stuff, and we'll get into it shortly.
Last but not least, he's always a man of the people, out and about watching the game and visiting those in need each and every day. It is the leader of the flock, our leader, the tribal chief, the OTC, the one, the only, Mr. 25-8, Drizzy Dre. What's going on, brother?
Acknowledge me!
What's up, everybody? Still Ravens Nation, but our team, man, we got a long way to go.
Well, Dre, I'm going to start with you, man. We're going to get into the X's and O's, but just how are you feeling after this game? It's been a few hours, like Rod said. He needed to decompress. I think that was a good idea. 26-23. I was texting somebody, this game is over once Derrick Henry scored the touchdown. Up by 10. Gardner Minshew beats the Ravens for the second straight year. I believe improves to 3-0 in his career. Antonio Pierce out coaching Harbaugh the whole damn game. I'm watching on the sidelines, out coaching him with his Marvin Lewis's and Joe Fieldman's. He works with Tom Coughlin. How are you feeling after this defeat, Dre, in a game where the Ravens were the heaviest favorite going into Sunday's action in the NFL?
Very disappointed. I thought that the Ravens would have won this game by at least 10 to 14 points against an opponent that doesn't. Their quarterback is suspect, but then again, I mean, this is the same quarterback with the Colts that did beat us last year. I thought that this was a Raiders team that we should have beat at home, home opener. And I thought that especially after the Chiefs game, they would have came out motivated, ready to play. But I mean, it was just bad all around. I mean, offensively, they couldn't get in sync, and then they finally got in sync, had a 10-point lead. Then the defense the Raiders back into the game and ultimately being able to kick uh, um, a a field goal to win a field goal to be able to win the game. I was with Raj watching the game, and I give Roger his credit. I was trying to be old faithful, and Roger was like, "No, bro, they're gonna lose this," and I was like, "No, I think that they still have a chance." You see the frustration in Lamar Jackson's face, but this team is clearly missing something. Both defensively, you see they couldn't stop Devontae Adams to catch if they couldn't stop a cold. The way Devontae Adams was out there just burning this Ravens defense alive, I just didn't understand after the first couple of plays why they couldn't stop Devontae Adams. But then it also showed that offensively it would help if the Ravens had somebody like a Devontae Adams. But then also on the defensive end, you need a pass rush, and you still need help in the corner and safety positions because your secondary shouldn't be getting beat like that. But then also, we beat ourselves again with unnecessary penalties that just kept extending drives, which kept your defense out there or would push back the offense. So it was just, I think it was just all around on both sides of the football and not just particularly on one side. I did like it that we had Derrick Henry rush for a little bit more yards and gave him more attempts, but there's still a lot to clean up, and you can't afford to be 0-2. But fortunately, the Bengals, who are also a Super Bowl favorite, are also 0-2, and crazy enough, the Steelers are leading the division at 2-0.
Raj, how you feeling, man? I know you were upset. Like you said, you watched the game with Dre today. Didn't think you were expecting this.
No, I picked us to win, of course. Everybody thought that we was gonna win this game because Vegas, we were 8.5 favorite in Vegas, but it just coming out of the first quarter, they're running the football with Derrick Henry. Offensive line is getting pushed back. I think he, I think we ended up having what -5 yards, I believe, in the first half of the game running the football, and
I
then
think
you
it was
just see
7 carries for like 5 yards.
yeah, or for okay 5 yards still. And then on top of that, you just see the body language of all the players. You see the body language of Lamar. You see the body language of Patrick I say Patrick Queen, Patrick McCurry, and then you see the right tackle getting destroyed. You see Falele getting destroyed. It's just like if they felt lackadaisical. You know what I'm saying? That like they didn't feel like themselves, and they just was real sluggish on offense. Now defense, they played pretty well in the first half. Granted, they got some sacks on Gardner Minshew and Marlon Humphrey had the pick, but they just wasn't. They just didn't have. They wasn't. They were just wasn't right in the first half. Second half, they turn up the heat a little bit. They start running the football more with Derrick Henry. They get him more involved. He starts to get off, get loose. Lamar started to make some better throws. To of course his favorite target, Zay Flowers. Mark Andrews gets the ball a little bit more. Uh, Likely gets a little bit more involved, and then they found a little bit of a rhythm. And sure enough, the turnover happened with throwing in the Rashad Bateman. And I must say, and I have to say this because I'm a Bateman guy, but I see why my people say he's trash. I do. I see why my people say he's trash. It's like he gets open, and sometimes he catches the ball, and sometimes he doesn't. But in this case, he had enough room to catch the football, but yet his drop ended up being an interception on Lamar, and everybody's going to count that as a Lamar, another Lamar blunder on his part. But it was all Bateman on that, and I think that was pretty much the turning point of the entire game. After that interception by Rashad Bateman, the Raiders got like a new set of life. Devontae Adams was featured a lot more. Um, and on top of that, he was just doing whatever he wanted to do with Brandon Stevens. Granted, he did get some penalty calls on his favor, so that also helped the Raiders get into the end zone a lot more. But it just felt like after that interception, it just the whole game turned in the second half towards the Raiders' favor, and the Ravens never could recover from that. But I haven't even gotten into Harbaugh, but I think I'll save that a little bit later. But they just came out extremely flat in the first half. Very disgusting football. I hate when they do this. I hate when they do that. But you know what? This also shows me. It shows me that we're missing a person in that offense that has a lot of dog. You know what I mean? It shows me that, like, the thing that Marcus Peters was talking about a couple years back when we had him on the team, and he was the one that was in Harbaugh's face and in Harbaugh's ear, getting on him when he was messing up. We don't have that on offense. We sort of have it on defense with Roquan a little bit, but we don't have it on offense. There's not a guy that's like, bro, what the hell are you doing? What are we doing? There's nobody like that on offense. When you saw Gardner Minshew throw that interception to Marlon Humphrey, the first person you saw on the screen was Max Crosby in Gardner Minshew's face. Like, look, bro, you threw the pick. We're going to get it back. We're going to get it back. He was pointing at his helmet. Like, we're going to get it back. We're going to get it back. Pretty much, letting everybody know, like, look, yeah, you threw an interception, but we're going to get it back because that's what we do. There's nobody like that on the Ravens offense. Lamar's not like that. Zay's not like that. Bateman, of course, is not like that. And Derrick Henry, he's a great, running back, but he doesn't, have that mouth to him where he's like, a rah-rah guy. So I think what you see is that they're lacking leadership on the offensive end outside of, Lamar doing his thing. But yeah, man, it was very frustrating watching them the entire game. It's because it's like they get in the rhythms and then they find themselves out of them, either due to a penalty, due to a turnover, or due to missed opportunities by the coaching staff or something else. But very frustrating. But go ahead.
D, I got you in here, D.
Yep, I'm listening to Roger. His points are valid. First of all, we got the toast up because in the second half, the secondary got torched. They got their ass handed to them. They got kicked. But it's so much. It's a team loss fully because coaching sucked. No adjustments on the offensive and defensive side. Roger tonight, we're going to call him John Harbaugh, doing them two stupid ass challenges that the whole world seen that neither one was going to get done. That was dumb. The fact of the matter is Mason Crosby made his living most of the game in the backfield. And it took Tiki Barber to say early in the second half, well, they're finally chipping him. I thought they would have did that early in the game. It's like, hello, the game plan all week. Max Crosby was coming. The right side of the offensive line sucked. Filet gets filleted every time. Well, he's looking at somebody sacking Lamar. I mean, it's ridiculous. Then on the defensive side, sack Orr. Why it ain't no safety help, man? You got Adams beating you. You got the tight end Bowers beating you. It's like it's no adjustments, but we seen the stat. CBS showed it. And today was the 11th time since 2020 the Ravens have blown a 7-point or more lead in the fourth quarter. And I think Roger was saying it last year. I was trying to tell him maybe not yet, but the questions should be no. Is it time for a change? It might be time for a change, man, because you can't keep beating yourself. It's not the other team always fully beating them. It's the Ravens beating themselves a lot of times. They're not getting blown out. They're not out of these games. They got leads. They got double-digit leads in some instances. And they keep blowing these games. And it's saying what happened as the ambulance come past might be going to get them right now for blowing another lead. It's a shame.
It sounds like you're about to get locked up, brother.
Well, no, it's the ambo going past. They're going to get the Ravens season. What's left of it? Going to get what's left of the season.
Yeah, the ambulance might be for you guys with the high blood pressure medicine back there, because Ravens will do it to you, right, D?
They will.
Every Sunday, man, they do the same thing.
I'm down at St. Francis. We had a little break. We was watching the first challenge, and the guy was like, "Oh, it must have been the Raiders challenging to see if it was a catch." I was like, That's hardball through the flag. He trying to say it was a catch. It clearly wasn't a catch.
Mm.
And you see, Lamar was telling him, to your point, Roger, Lamar was telling him, don't go for it. Don't challenge it. And he did anyway. It's like, come on, man. These blowing
So,
leads consistently
so,
comes to
so,
the
so, D,
leadership.
D, are you saying that you think it's hardball, or do you think that it's somebody advising him wrong? Because it's got to be on both ends. It's got to be hardball seeing from the replay. You can see everybody can see in the stadium whether or not this is a challenge that should be um, that should go for it, or you don't. But then also, who's advising hardball to make these asinine challenges?
So apparently, supposed to be somebody up top, Dre, to let him know what to do, what not to do. I don't know if that person's screwing up or he not listening to him. Because sometimes, let's be honest, John Harbaugh gets a little emotional. He gets a little set in the way in the game, and sometimes it has cost the Ravens over the years. And it could be a little bit of both of that because the dude today clearly they was not challengeable plays he was going to win. That was clear. That was clear. Oh man, I see they talk about Bateman. Yeah, I mean look, Bateman is as bad as he's not Bill Bateman's wings. I tell you that. Bateman right now, he got to get himself together. He's not doing well in fantasy. He's not doing well in games. He's got to get himself together, man. I don't know what the deal is with him, but he got to get right. But Mike, quick before we change subjects, the Ravens really got a soul search because 3-0, 0-3, excuse me, is staring them in the face. We're talking about the Cowboys because they got embarrassed today. You know they're not going to come out next week like that. Buffalo, Cincinnati going into in a couple weeks. The Ravens got to go up there, man. So the Ravens schedule is not easy, and they got to get their act together now.
And to D's point about John Harbaugh, I've been saying for a good while, his ass needs to go. I said after the AFC Championship game that his ass needed to go. After the first game of the season this year, his ass needed to go. And clearly, after today's performance, after his complete blunders, after just looking like a complete idiot on the screen, looking like Joe Biden ish, he looked like Joe Biden out there. John Biden is what I call him now. I don't understand the stupid. I don't understand the stupid challenges. I don't get why when he's in his press conferences, he doesn't take no accountability whatsoever. He takes no blame at all. Everything is, well, we'll look at it. Oh well, this is not what this is. He is like he plays these mind games, and is like, bro, a lot of the shit that we're in is because you don't know how to coach anymore, or yet you make stupid assessment after assessment. You don't ring anybody in. You don't take you allow our timeouts to go. We're back to the point where we're actually the clock is like at 1 second now before we snap the ball. Why is that? Why is that? It was pretty good last year up until when we played the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game, but now we're back to delay of games and having to get the play off late. I don't understand that. So he's completely dropping the ball right now as a head coach. He is completely dropping the ball as a head coach, and it's just disgusting to see. It's disgusting to watch as a fan, and we've been saying this for years. This is not a one-time thing. 2 years ago, we've been having double-digit leads, and we were dropping them like crazy. Now, granted, Mike McDonald was a young coach as well back then, and he got it together a year or two. But still, you know what time it is, Harbaugh. You've been here long enough. Take some fucking accountability, man. That's what I need you to do first and foremost, as my man Q would say. Take some accountability, bro. You take none. You take none. You pass it on to other people. And while you pass it on to other people, guess who gets the most blame out of everybody? Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson's been getting destroyed this entire offseason. Everything has been his fault. He's been getting killed by people like Nick Wright and others and the other minions on Fox and ESPN, Stephen A. Smith and Shannon Sharp. They've been destroying them at times. And you skate by like you always do because nothing is your fault. I'm sick and tired of it, man. I'm sick and tired of it. We're 0-2 right now. We have an extremely hard schedule. We got to see them boys next week. And them boys got their asses kicked today. But I guarantee you, them boys going to be ready next week. Michael Parsons is going to be eating that right side, too. Especially if you decide to leave Falele in the game. When you should have been starting Finn Finger to begin with.
Finger licking good special. That's what I'm talking about.
Exactly. Exactly. They're going to be eating them. And the dog is going to be out. So, yeah, man. Harbaugh, I've been saying he needs to go. They apparently don't want to fire him. They don't want to let him go.
He's not going anywhere, Raj.
He's
You know
not
he's
going to
not.
go nowhere.
Especially
But
not
guess
in
what?
season.
But guess what? We lose next week. I guarantee you we'll probably be 0-5 or 0-6 before we win our first game. And guess what? Then his ass will be gone after that.
Yeah, if they don't make the playoffs or they go
I
egregiously
still don't think
like
he's
that,
gone if they miss the
like
playoffs.
like 0-5, the 0-6, then he's definitely gone. But I just don't see that. I think that the Ravens definitely they should have won this week. They definitely had a chance against the Chiefs. So I think they have a bounce back game against Dallas next week because I think that we can all agree Dallas is the one not really going to make the playoffs. I think both the Bengals and the Ravens, even though they're 0-2 with a 17-game season, you're more likely to bounce back. So I think the Ravens can bounce back, and especially against Dallas. I think they never lost against Dallas anyway. So they,
You know what that means, Dre. Don't say that. Don't say that. Don't say they never lost. Raj is gonna be there.
Dre,
Don't say
they
that.
did lose the last meeting in Dallas there, Dre,
they did. Okay.
some years back.
All right. So
That was the old stadium, right, D?
No, that was a new stadium.
That was a new one.
Remember, they closed the old stadium in 08. Remember?
That's
They was
right.
the
They did
last
close
one.
that down.
Yeah, they closed that one down.
Well, I do want to get to Lamar. We're talking about Lamar, but let's go to the numbers because coming into this game, John Harbaugh was 13-3 in home openers, now 13-4, and 35-19 in September, now falls to 35-20. The Ravens had 24 straight games scoring a first half touchdown. No touchdown in this game's first half. First time since 2022, week 15 at Cleveland. Lamar, 21 of 34, 247, one touchdown, an inexcusable pick. I know we're going to put it on Bateman, but Lamar shouldn't have thrown that ball. He was sacked twice for 15 yards. Gardner Minshew, 30 of 38, 276, one touchdown, one interception. He was sacked 5 times. Dre, I'm going to start with you. What did you think about Lamar's performance today?
I know you're saying about Lamar, but I really don't. I'd really put that kind of on the receiver, similar to Dallas earlier when Dak had an interception. One of his interceptions wasn't particularly on him. So I think that Lamar, of course, he could be better. I think it was times when, again, like the AFC Championship game where he could have ran and he decided to throw, and then there were times when he could have ran. I mean, that's Lamar Jackson's game. We can nitpick about that, but I think a lot of that happens with the offensive line. He just didn't have the protection that he really needed to because Max Crosby was just similar to Chris Jones last week. I mean, if you know who the pass rusher is, then you need to be able to protect him and be able to do what you need to do in order to stop that. As simple as the same thing if Aaron Donald was out there, whoever, TJ Watt in our own division, you know who the guy is. Make sure that that guy is blocked so that way you have enough protection on offense. So they need to do a better job there. Ron Staley's got to go. Ronnie Staley, I mean, I don't even know why he was extended or why he's even still on the Ravens, but that hurts. We have 3 other holes on the offensive side on our line. So I think that all attributes to Lamar Jackson. He's still being able to get targets like Likely and Flowers. And you saw that he was trying to get Bateman involved. I wish that we would honestly really more so go to the 2 tight end setup. Get Andrews more involved to me in addition to Likely, and that can set up things for Zay and also continue running the football with Derrick Henry. I liked it that we did a little more with Derrick Henry today, but I think that if they can all click on one cylinder, you'll have a similar season of what you had last year and build. And I thought that they would honestly build upon what they had last year because Likely's getting the football, Zay is getting the football, but I need Andrews to also get the football more. And I think that the 2 tight ends need to be featured more. Yes, we still have Nelson Aguilar and you do have Zay out there, and a lot of people expect Zay to be a guy, and now they're seeing that Likely's a target, but I need Andrews to get more targets. And I think that can, and like I said, running the football more with Derrick Henry, less with Lamar Jackson, can open things up a lot more for Lamar and help his passing game as well.
Go ahead, Raj. Your thoughts on Lamar? You muted.
I thought he was okay, but that shaky offensive line is a struggle. It's gonna be a struggle for him. It really is. It's gonna be a struggle for him because it's like 1 minute they're playing well, and then the next minute it looks like he doesn't have as much time as he's supposed to have to get the ball to where he needs to get it to. So I feel for him with that. Hopefully it's shored up. Next week it probably won't be, but that's just the cards that he's dealt. Um, but I thought he did okay. I thought he made some great passes to Zay Flowers, especially the one where it was, I think, I think it was like 3rd and 6 or something like that, and he was like wide open in the flat, and he got a first down. I thought he made some amazing passes to Mark when he was open as well, except for one when he drifted it, but it just happens sometimes like that. He made good passes to Rashad Bateman, including the one that he dropped into an interception. But like I said before, you can't throw it and catch it at the same time. But Zay had a great day. Likely should have got the ball a little bit more than just 3 times. I believe he was targeted. They got to get that brother involved more, man. Every time he touches the ball, positive things happen, and they failed to get to get him involved. I think what Dre said is correct. They need to do 2 tight end sets. He needs to get the ball more. Give the ball to your playmakers. Mark Andrews is a playmaker. Isaiah Likely clearly is a playmaker. Zay Flowers is a playmaker. Your running back Derrick Henry, he has to have at least 20 touches. He had 18 today. Give him the ball. Give him the ball more. Clearly, every time he has the ball, it seems like positive things happen the more the game goes on, and they went away from it again. So they got to do that. They also got to clean up the penalties, man. They have to clean up the penalties, and I know that's not all on Lamar either. You had some real stupid ones by Derrick Henry. The 3rd and 1 turned into a 3rd and 6, and then Lamar gets the ball batted down. They have to punt the ball. Stuff like that you can't have. You cannot
Hey,
have that.
Raj, I hate to interrupt you, but I want you to tell the people something that we had when we were watching the game. You had some offensive line suggestions. Could you mind sharing that?
I did. I said Ben Cleveland needs to start. I said Daniel Falele is terrible. I don't understand why a guy who plays right tackle his entire career from high school to college to now is playing right guard. I don't understand that. I don't get it. And then on top of that, you have Rosengarten, who is a rookie, but you also have the what's his name? The backup, Makari, who's starting at right tackle, but you rotating him. I don't understand that. Either you go with Rosengarten or you don't go with Rosengarten. But every time Rosengarten came in the game this week, he played well. He played well. He played Max. He did now. Granted, he couldn't completely stop Max Crosby, but he stayed in front of Max Crosby for most of the game when he was in the game. So I think that at this point in time, you're 0-2. Just go with Rosengarten. I understand he's a rookie or whatever, but go with him. Makari is okay. He's cool for a backup. He's a backup for a reason. He's not prepared. He's not. I didn't say prepared to start, but he should not be a starter. He's a backup. He's a guy that replaces the starter. I don't understand that. And Ben Cleveland, who's in his contract year, who actually plays well when he's in the game. Now I understand he doesn't practice very well. They say his practice habits are trash. Harbaugh, he's always in Harbaugh's doghouse, this, that, and the third. But every time I seen him play on the film itself, this brother can play, and he plays pretty well. I don't understand why he's not starting. I don't get it. I don't understand why Harbaugh is so stubborn to not put him out there. Every time a guy who's out there who's in that contract year actually plays well, from Ben Powers to John Simpson, even Morgan Moses, although he wasn't in the contract year, he played well.
Clowney last year was in the contract year. He did good.
Yeah,
Like
he
you
got
can
traded.
keep
He got
going
traded
on
to the
and
Jets.
And Kevin Zeitler walk, Raj.
Yeah, Kevin Zeitler was in the contract year. He played extremely well, and
And
he should
he's
have
the
been
man
back
who was
there.
on the right side where Lele man's now. And I agree with you. If you're going to draft Rosengarten with a 2nd-round pick, the guy played on an offensive line that was in the national championship game. Yeah, they lost, but They won the award for best offensive line in the country. Let him play, right? I mean, he did okay.
Exactly. He played. He did his thing. You got to let him play. You got to let him play. And I don't understand the rotations. I never like the rotations. I hate them. Just go with what you got, bro. And if they are screwing up, and then you take them out and put the other guy in. But from what I saw, when Rosengarten was in the game, played well. Keep him in the game.
Go ahead, D. Your
Start
thoughts
him
on
at
Lamar
least.
real quick before I get to the rest of the offense.
Well, let's talk about Lamar first. I get about my thoughts on the offensive line in a little bit, but I thought Lamar played a decent game. It wasn't last week. He said in the press conference early in the week he didn't want to be running like that. And pretty much you're running for your life when you do run like that. And that's a part of the offensive line situation. But the one interception, Bateman should have caught it, but the decision of throwing it wasn't great either. So it's kind of a 60-40. I put a 60 on Bateman, 40 on Lamar. But Lamar did enough to win today. He didn't make no major big mistakes. He didn't make any mistake that was like, man, that really was really, really bad. The interception, to Rogers' point and everybody's point, did get the Raiders going, and that kind of gave them the momentum back once they drove down the field. They scored a field goal off of that, and then they ended up getting a touchdown later. But I thought Lamar's play, last week we gave him a B because they lost. We give him this week we give him a B minus because they lost once again.
Go ahead, D. Go to the offensive line and real quick to the offense. Derrick Henry, 18 for 84, touchdown. Jackson, 5 for 45. Justice Hill, 4 for 22. Flowers, 7 for 91 with a touchdown. 4 for 51 for Andrews. 3 for 40 for Bateman. 2 for 26 for Lightly. Aguilar with 1 for 13. Henry, 1 for 12. Justice Hill, 2 for 10. Kolar had 1 for 4. What do you think about the rest of the offense? And, of course, you can go ahead and slide the offensive line.
First of all, the offensive line is shit. I mean, let's just call it what it is. It was shit. Especially on the right side. I know we talk about Rodney Stanley. He actually made a good block to get a Henry open. And if they're
He's
gonna
the best
run Henry
lineman, D.
now,
Best lineman they
you
got.
ain't lying. If you're gonna run Henry, run him to the left side, man. Because the right side ain't nothing. McCoy got his lunch handed to him when he was in the game. I do agree with Roger and company. Rosengarten, if he's supposed to be the right tackle of the future, let him just start at this point, man. Because what you got to lose. And the same with Ben Cleveland. We've heard Benny get on Ben Cleveland. We heard he don't practice well. Well, what you got in there right now sucks. I mean, when you're at rock bottom, it ain't gonna be no worse, right? I mean, when you at rock bottom, it can't be no worse than what you got. And Patrick Ricard, do we see any of Patrick Ricard? Is he still on the team?
Barely,
Do he
D. And
still
that was
play?
another question I was going to ask. Maybe less than 10 plays.
Yeah, it's like, come on, man, put him in, especially when that right side was looking bad. It takes you until the beginning of the second half to start chipping Max Crosby. Likely was on him at times. That was a mismatch. I mean, it's like an offensive coordinator. What are you doing? What are you doing upstairs, man? You're supposed to be looking down. That's why you upstairs, to look down to see what's going on. John, what are you doing on the sidelines, man? You're supposed to be getting on these people, man. To make adjustments, they didn't make many until the second half, and then after that, they really went back to bad habits. It's like I know we as fans see this stuff. Tiki Barber seeing this stuff. I'm like, why ain't you saying this stuff? Why this guy take them to point it out? I mean, it's a mess, man. And in Henry's case, run him more to the left side. He was getting going in the second half, and they kind of again did go away from him. And they got to get things going. Hill last week did a good job in blocking Jones. He shouldn't have to be in there every week trying to block the best pass rusher. Isn't that supposed to be the offensive lineman's job? I mean, it's
Or how about we roll Lamar
ridiculous.
out, right, D? Get Lamar out the pocket some a
Right.
little bit.
Yeah, and I know they was trying to do some of that too. They really can't do play action all that much because of the bad offensive line, but the rollouts have helped that Byron Witt play action. And it's like we got to get a little bit more creative, man. Jet sweep, something. Get a little bit more creative. They did the Wildcat in the game, and that was probably the only trick play they had today. So 0-3 is staring them in the face, man, because the Cowboys are coming, and Micah Parsons is a way better pass rusher than Jones, and him and Max Crosby right up there. So it's going to be a lot of barbecue chicken, Nate, on Sunday if they don't get their act together.
Hey, Byron, is that you saying in the comments that we should trade Bateman and a pick
No,
for
it's
Adams?
Dre. It's Dre. You know
Hey,
it's
that's
not.
you. Come on, man.
You know it's
You
Dre.
you
I
Come
said
never
on,
yourself.
say
man.
You
that.
said
I don't.
yourself.
I don't.
Get
I
rid
would
of.
never
You
say
said
that
yourself.
goofiness.
You
Come on,
said yourself. Get rid of Bateman earlier.
But no, but
Dre.
you
They're
ain't
not
like
going to
no
trade
like
Devontae Adams. They're going to be in the wild card hunt if they keep playing like this. Antonio
Right.
Pierce out coach Harbaugh. Marvin Lewis. You see the guys he got around him.
Yeah. Oh, I know Antonio
Right.
Pierce got to look. The Raiders are missing a quarterback, but I'm saying that Devontae Adams, he's not clearly he hasn't been happy with the Raiders for years, and he wants to leave.
he ain't gonna be happy
But
here either. He ain't
at
gonna be
least
happy
Definitely ain't
here.
gonna be happy here.
I don't think anybody's
Wide
going to be happy
receivers
with
come
that
here.
contract. He ain't getting no younger.
Wide receivers come here to die. You know that. They come here to die here in Baltimore. Wide receivers come here to die.
Dre. I mean, I know you've been ishing on the receivers, but Zay looked good today. What did you think about the offense?
oh no,
Man?
I didn't mind Zay, but I feel like even the Super Bowl year that we had, when we had Bolden, you still like you had that veteran to kind of be like that guy in the middle. You had your outside guy with Torrey, and that's what I'm saying. Like I feel like we still like we could use another guy like that. I think Zay could still be your home run guy. You still have your tight ends, which are good options, but I still feel like a receiver that would definitely help out. And I think we have the running game, issue solved. But now, of course, we got offensive line issues.
Raj, what'd you think of the?
Dre said stop being an embarrassment to his name. Okay, stop being an embarrassment to his name, Dre. Because you up there talking about trading a damn pick and somebody else for Devontae. No, at this point, we got to go with what we got, and we need to fix up some things, mainly the offensive
So
line.
you gonna be happy if a team like the Jets or somebody gets him?
I don't give a damn about the Jets. I care about this team right here.
You gonna give a damn about the Jets if we played them in the wild card?
No, listen to me. We was in the AFC Championship game last year, minus the new offensive line. But other than that, most of the pieces are back. Most of the pieces are here.
Well, Dre, they play Carolina and Cleveland and Denver next week. They might win their next 3 games. The Raiders, they're gonna be in it. They ain't trading them.
No, they're not trading anybody. So you might as well get that out your head. That ain't happening, man. And the Ravens, this is on them. This is all the Ravens, all of them. This is what they do. They get your hopes up. They get they look great on paper, but they go out there lackadaisical, and they play around most of the time. They get themselves right in the second half, and then most of the time they pull it off. But today, they didn't. It is what it is. This is what they do. This is Ravens football for the past 3 to 4 years. This is not a one-time thing. This is exactly what they do most of the time. And right now they're doing it yet again with the same person who's always at the helm, Harbaugh. So I'm not trading anybody. I'm not trading for Devontae Adams. I'm not trading for Justin Jefferson. I'm not trading for Tyreek Hill. I'm not trading for anybody, man. We have enough to win here right now. They beat themselves all the time. This is what they do.
Go ahead, D. Get in there real quick. Just your thoughts on
Roger's preaching here. I mean, Harbaugh and company, they got to get it together, man. You can't keep beating yourself. You can't have all these leads in the fourth quarter and you keep blowing. Not getting the job done, and we're not getting no Deontay Adams. That ain't happening. And y'all gotta remember, we're in the AFC, man. If you go down 0-3 and 0-4, you ain't coming back. This conference is too tough, man. And now you see the Patriots look a little better than I think a lot of people thought they was gonna be. Steelers right now, they're getting it done. The Chargers are playing Raven-like football right now, and out Raven and the Ravens in their 2 games so far. They made the Raiders look like a joke last week. And what did we do this week to the Raiders? And Garner Minshew, we make them look good at times. Made them look great. They stopped running the ball. Let's just pass the ball around the field. And as you see, we got torch right there. See that nice burnt toast. We got torch today on defense.
D, real quick, I want to ask you about the special teams because we always forget about special teams sometimes. And for years, it's been automatic with Tucker. 1 for 7 from 50 plus the last 2 years. He's already missed 2 field goals this season. Doesn't seem to have the leg power. They showed him, I don't know why, kicking from 70 from a tee like that was going to do something in the damn game. They deserve to be whooped just for showing that. And he seems like he can't kick anything outside of 50. Oh, yeah, he kicked it from 70 from a tee. He can't kick it from 50 with a damn person holding.
I'm about to say, man,
special teams,
trash.
man. Yeah, go ahead, D.
I
Real
mean,
quick on the special teams.
I mean, first of all, with special teams, let's talk about Stout too. That punt was terrible. That punt really got the Raiders right where
You
they
talking
need
about
to
that
be
punt
so
that
they can
got
do their thing.
in the 40?
Yes, I'm like, what are you doing, man? Come on, Jordan. You usually don't do that. With Tucker, I always say 50 yarders or more. They're not automatic kicks. I know Tucker has fooled us, but in some of these instances, we shouldn't be going for field goals. A lot of times, penalty happened, bring you back. This happened, that happened. I mean, we shouldn't be going for these 50-yard field goals. We should be trying to get the first down, try and get the end zone, man. I mean, that's old news. Old news. I mean,
No,
Tucker to me gets a break. I ain't mad at him.
I disagree. I think because we seen it even in the Chiefs and Raiders game, their kickers were kicking it from 50 plus. So I just don't feel like that's an excuse when you got kickers now who can kick it from 60 yards with some air. So I don't feel like that's an
Look,
excuse anymore that you can't kick field goals from 50 plus. I think it's just JT is just really on the decline, and we're seeing it within the last couple of years that he can't kick those far field goals, and you're going to need kickers to kick from those long distances, especially like you said when you come to the AFC in these close games.
I just look at it as Tucker's done it for so long for us. He hitting 60 yarders in the preseason this year. I mean, it is what it is, man. Now, if we start missing from 45, stuff like that, then I'd be really concerned. But I'm still
No,
not
not
concerned
like
from
I said,
50 or more.
not with today's
I'm not
kickers,
concerned.
and they're kicking it from these far distances.
Go ahead, Raj.
But
I'm complete. I'm completely concerned. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I am extremely concerned because one, hey, mute up real quick, man. You got a lot of background noise. All right, I'm completely concerned, bro. Because one, granted, they are 50 yarders. He makes them in his sleep most of the time. All right. If this was a couple years back, I mean, this is not even, we're not even talking about this. Tucker's hitting it from 56 yards, 60 yards. It didn't matter what the distance was. The damn thing was going in. Now, I think he's literally one of 7 in the last 2 years from 50 yards. That is not good. Okay. That is not good at all. And I'm not sure where his mental is because, yeah, he has the leg power to continue to hit it from 50 and 60. But it's just like every time he goes up there now, it's like I'm second guessing and I'm questioning it. I'm like, bro, what is going on in your head? Like, what are you doing? Are we doing too many Royal Farms commercials? Are we opera
I was getting ready
singing
to say
too
that.
much? I mean,
Too
are
much
we on
time at
Marlon
Royal
Humphrey's
Farms.
podcast sometimes now?
That old grease, bro. That gas
He
station
got too
grease
much
getting
meat
to
in
him.
his mouth, and he take the meat out of his mouth and start hitting these goddamn field goals, man. I mean, come on, this is what we paid you a bunch of money for last
Finish
season.
him, Daddy.
He is finishing us. He's finishing us in the worst way. Goddamn with these damn sound effects, Byron. But yeah, man, it's very concerning, bro. And I hate to say it, man, but after this season, we might have to go look for another kicker. Because one of 7 in the last 2 years is egregious. It is pathetic at this point. And I hate to say this, bro, but now, granted, if it comes down to a game where we need to make a 50-yard field goal, do you trust him to make it? I
No,
don't at
I
this
don't.
point.
yes,
I don't. I don't.
I still do. I still do.
You
I
still
don't.
do?
No,
Okay.
he's had 2 years, and like Rod said, it's time. I agree with Rod. It's time because, like I said, there are these young kickers out here who can kick from longer distances, and we're seeing that even in college football. We're seeing cats kicking it from 63 yards
Look at Boswell with
with some
Pittsburgh.
air.
He's their offense, guys.
With some air. So no, I'm not buying this whole like hold on to the past. That's the problem now. You keep saying this is the place where receivers come to die or old players come here to die. No, we're not doing that with the Ravens, especially on the cusp of us getting to a Super Bowl when we were in the AFC Championship game. We don't have time to play. Get a person in there that you know is going to be able to do get that money. Tucker was money, but now I think it's just too much. Like Rod said, it might be too much of that gas station chicken or something going on in there.
Let's get to the defense
Wait
real
a
quick.
minute now.
Hey D, we love that chicken, right? We love that chicken.
I don't.
That's right. Hey,
That
hey, them
chicken ain't
chicken,
good for you.
them chicken,
I'd rather you
that
eat
chicken
something.
rolls is good, Dre. Them chicken rolls are good, don't you? Be respect.
I'm tired of
Be respect.
I am tired of seeing him shucking and jiving with that damn Royal Farms chicken.
Hey,
Get your
hey,
ass out there and make
hey,
some
that
field goals.
background noise you heard by quick was the helicopter looking for Tucker's leg now.
But they need to go out there and find it.
Let's get to the defense, guys, real quick. Roquan Smith, 11 tackles. Humphrey, 10 tackles with a pick. Owe, 2.5 sacks today, 2 tackles for a loss. Trent Simpson, 5 tackles. Kyle Van Noy with 2 sacks. The Pirate with one eye getting 2 sacks. Nnamdi Madambike with 2 tackles for loss. Travis Jones with a tackle for loss. And Vegas, like I mentioned, Devontae Adams, 9 for 110 yards. One of my keys was keeping them under 100. They didn't do that. 1 touchdown. Jacoby Myers, 4 for 29. Zamir White, 9 carries for 24 yards. And now the all-time most catches for a tight end in his first 2 games. The one, the only. Hold on, I think I got a special guest here. Hold on, he's going to actually do it for me.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Paul Heyman. Tonight, the reigning, defending, undisputed, universal heavyweight champion, Barack
Bowers.
Finish him, Daddy.
One big son of a bitch!
He looked like a little Travis Kelce out there, man. I'm a little worried. If they get a quarterback, they're gonna be trouble. But Dre, the defense, man, they did what they could, but those crucials, they never can get off the field when they need to. Like you mentioned, they don't get that sack when you need it the most in crunch time, it seems like, or that stop.
Yeah, that's why I said, I mean, if the Jets don't want to pay Hassan Reddick, I mean, shoot, the Ravens always want to pay a defense.
We'll go pick him up from Jersey, from MetLife, Dre.
Hey,
gas
look,
up
gas up the car, man, because we need a pass rush, and especially when you're taking on people like Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, you need a pass rusher. Bottom line, and that's definitely going to help. So yeah, it was nice today that we had some sacks, but we going to need some guaranteed sacks. Somebody that's really going to put some pressure on the quarterback. I mean, we're talking about teams like the Raiders or the Steelers who have pass rushers but don't have quarterbacks. We have the quarterback, but no pass rush. So it's like, what are we doing here? We legit just need what we need. And I mean, every team has holes, but we see clearly with the Ravens, these holes are hindering us from being what we should be. And that's in the Super Bowl. We're right on the cusp. Let's finally get over that hump. And maybe Hassan can get us over the hump, especially if the Jets don't want to pay him.
Thoughts on the defense, Raj?
I mean, I could say they played well. I can say that from a technical standpoint. They had the numbers, they had the sacks, they had some of the, stops.
Not when you're giving up a 10-point lead.
That's my point. I was about to get to that, Dre, but it comes down to crucial times, man. And I think, and like I said before, 2 years ago, Mike McDonald was having this same issue. Like, he had the numbers, he had the sacks, he had he had a lot of interceptions, but when it came down to crucial times, he did not know how to finish it off. And right now, Zach Orr is having that same issue, that same problem. Now, I think he will figure it out, of course. This is his second game in, so I'm giving him a lot of grace. I think he has a lot of the pieces. I just think he has to put them at the right spot at the right time. Kyle Hamilton needs to be used a little bit better. He got to be put in better positions. He's been playing extremely quiet these first couple of games, and I don't like that. Roquan, yeah, he had 11 tackles, but I mean, it is what it is with him. And of course, Calvin Noy always looked pretty good, but when it came down to third down or any other crucial down that they got Brock Bowers involved or Devontae Adams involved, they could not stop anybody at any time. So it's growing pains, man. It's growing pains from having a new defensive coordinator. It's growing pains from not having your number one pick on the field today, and Nate Wiggins, who is probably your fastest corner and probably can cover a little bit better than a Brandon Stevens and Marlon Humphreys at this point. And also, it comes down to the Raiders actually switching things up, actually going with what works. Instead of running the football, they only had 27 yards on the ground. They just decided to air it out. We had no answers for it. We didn't double Devontae Adams, because if we did, Brock Bowers would probably have been open a lot more. So it's just growing pains, man. It came today in a loss, which we really didn't want. But we had the numbers today. We had a lot of the sacks. We had a lot of pressures. But one thing, like I said before, that we did not get and we should have more of was the turnovers. Minshew only had 1 turnover today. That is not acceptable. And It just is what it is, man.
Go ahead, D. Go ahead, D. Your thoughts on the defense?
You know, woulda, shoulda, coulda. We've seen this before. Coordinators are not, you give Sacco a little grace in that sense, but the substitutions, man, and the communication. They talked about that last week, and it didn't help them. And it seemed like it did the same today because Devontae Adams was running free at times. Brock, old little Brock, he was doing his thing. And when usually secondary players have a lot of tackles, that means they're having a long afternoon. We've seen a couple of our secondary guys having a lot of tackles right behind Wilson. That means they was having a very long afternoon. We got to find a way to blitz with the secondary, man. Get a little bit more pressure. I know Oway and the one-eyed Van Roy, props to both of them. They got it done today. It was even Ojabo sighting briefly, but they got to be able to find a way to get to the quarterback better, man, in key situations. And this is something, again, we talk about the offense, but the same on the defense. When they need the big stop, they can't get it, man. They can't get it. And it's the same old story, man. It's old news. It's getting old. Some of the same players was here when McDonald had that issue a couple years ago too, man. So this is something they gotta be able to get together. The communication stuff they gotta get together. And Malik Harrison, stop subbing his ass in, man. He stinks. He's no good.
Yeah, he needs to have the
Keep
burnt
Trent
toast over
Simpson
his
out there.
head. Yeah, he
You
needs
ain't
to have
lying.
burnt.
You know what? If you're not going to sub, if you're not going to sub, if you're not going to sub out Malik Harrison, I looked in my drawer and guess what I found?
What you find, man?
Some WD-40.
God damn.
Loosen up his
God
body
damn.
parts, loosen up them
God
legs.
damn.
Because if you ain't going to move around a little bit faster, you might need to put some on your joints, man. Because you slow as hell out there, completely slow,
Yes, he's
getting
slow.
burned, getting frickazeed out there. So
He look like he
for Malik Harris.
look like some old.
Guy stinks.
He looked like some old chicken gizzards off of the old Leicester Market back in the day.
Are we sponsored by WD-40 now, Raj?
I mean, shit, it was in my drawer, so might as well.
Hey, why not?
Shout out to WD-40.
Yes, sir. Loosen his body parts up.
So let's look at the AFC North, guys, as now the Pittsburgh Steelers are 2-0. And let's talk about the game you'll be at, Rod. Since you're on the screen, you're going to Dallas this week. What do you look forward to in this matchup? Dallas lost today to the Saints. The Saints, don't look now. They are 2-0 in the NFC South. They may be the team we didn't think was going to be that good either. But the AFC North and your trip to Dallas coming up, and what you think for the game, man?
Well, I'm going to just say this. Fuck the game. I'm looking forward to going there, enjoying the weather, because it's going to be hot as hell in Dallas. I can't wait to tour the stadium, to see the trophies, see the greatness of the mall, smell the field, look at the seats, look at the bright lights, and just cool out, man. I'm gonna have a fun time in Dallas, a fun time until Sunday afternoon comes, because I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't think we're gonna win. I'm not gonna sit here and sugarcoat it. I ain't gonna tell you. I ain't gonna, pat you on the back. I ain't gonna pat you on your head like this. Nah, bro. I think we're taking the L because the Dallas Cowboys got their asses destroyed today, completely humiliated, completely a letdown burger. They had the same problem we had. They came out lackadaisical, and the Saints just marched on in, whooped their ass, and left them out to dry. So I think the Ravens will play a little bit better. I think they will play a little bit harder. And I think we'll have the same outcome we had today, where it's going to be within the field goal and we're losing. But yeah, I mean, I don't expect the Ravens to do much next game. I expect to see Daniel Falele as a right guard. I expect to see the right tackle to be a switch between Makari and Rosengarten. I expect John Harbaugh to call stupid ass flags and looking ridiculous on the sidelines and having Joe Biden moments where he doesn't know where the hell he's at most of the time and looking confused. I expect all these things because this is what you should expect from the Baltimore Ravens. They have a Super Bowl prepared team just like the Dallas Cowboys do. pretty much they're the same damn team, honestly. Lamar's a better quarterback than Dak, but that's neither here nor there. But I don't expect this team to do much more. I expect them to be playing pretty well, but it's going to be a close game. They're going to have a lot of penalties, like they did these last two games, and I expect at the end of it us to come up a little bit short. So I think we'll be 0-3. The seat will be getting a little bit warmer for Harbaugh, which it should be already hot right now, but it probably isn't because our GM and our owner don't want to get rid of him. But yeah, they'll play a little bit harder, and they'll look like they're going to try to win, but at the end of the day, they're going to come up short, man. They're going to come up short, and it's going to be ugly.
Go ahead, Dre.
I'm not going to be like negative Nancy over here. I think that the Ravens will win next week against Dallas. But then again, I thought they would win today. So I think that they will win though. Seriously, against the Dallas Cowboys, I think that they have to. I think right now it's a must win. You can't go 0-3. I think it's a must win, and I think that most of us pick the Ravens to at least get into the playoffs over the Dallas Cowboys anyway, because of the strength of schedule. The Ravens have to. They need a signature win, and I think that against a team like Dallas, they can get it. Yes, Micah Parsons can give us hell out there, but I feel like the Ravens can at least run the football on them, and they have to get back to playing Ravens football. They get back to doing that, they'll win this football game.
What is Ravens football, Dre?
They don't have an identity, I think.
Running the football, playing good, and playing good defense. That's what the Ravens do, and I think that they've just gotten away from that, honestly.
When have they done that? When was the last time they done that?
They haven't done it this year, and I just really think that's because offensively they're not, for some reason, they're not clicking. And I think that, like I said, the minute they click, then they'll be perfectly fine. You got to find that dynamic duo of Lamar and Derrick Henry. If you can find that magic, so that way, because of course we always said Henry's supposed to be the one to take the less carries from Lamar. You got to feed Derrick Henry more so that way he gets stronger throughout the game. But then also that's going to help Lamar, because then that'll open up passing lanes for Lamar. It's going to just open up a whole lot of things. Get back to just running the football, even if it's just little by little with yards. Get back to just committed to running the football, because eventually you're going to wear the team out, and Derrick Henry's going to open up, Lamar's going to open up, and then that passing game's going to open up. And on defense, you're able to you saw some good things with Kansas City last week. You saw some good things with Dallas with the Raiders this week. Here, y'all need to stop it. Man.
That's what you're going to see.
Y'all need to stop.
That's what you're going to see on Sunday. Your least favorite vegetable out there.
Get this off.
Your head coach, John Biden.
Finger licking good special. That's what I'm talking about.
At least call it hard.
Having mental lapses, mental decline, and being
at least call him hard biting.
Go ahead, D.
He's Harbaugh. That's what he is. John Harbaugh. That's what he is. Anyway, I'm gonna look at the tape. I ain't trying to sound like a coach, but I might have to really debate on who I think gonna win this Raven Dallas game, because I thought Dallas would be really good or real bad, and they're kind of like in the middle right now. It's gonna be tough, man. It's gonna be tough because the same ingredients that Dallas have, these first two teams have: good pass rushing and good enough offense to get the job done, man. So I just don't know right now, man. It's usually you know after game how they would do. I watched the Raiders last week look like trash against the Chargers, and they come in here and they took care of business today. So, to be honest with you, I don't know. I don't know at all.
Thankfully, no major injuries for the Ravens. I did want to point this out. Brandon Stevens did go down, but he did return, and he was still getting cooked, so his leg might still be hurt, him and Marlon. Real quick, let's go around the NFL. We saw Buffalo beat Miami 31-10. Raj, Tua said he's going to come back. Meet with a neurologist this week, but he's going to come back when he's clear to come back from a concussion, and he would get his money if he does retire, but he's not going to retire.
Good for him, man. I hate that people went out there and tried to say, "Oh, you need to retire. Oh, they need to put him away. They need to, no, F all that. It's his career. It's his life. If he wants to continue to keep playing, let the man continue to keep playing. I'm happy for him. Hopefully, he doesn't have a situation like this again. But I just hate when other people, try to dictate your career. Like, bro, this is not your life. This is mine. If I want to go out there and continue to put my body on the line, that's what I want to do. So, hats off to Tua, man. Hopefully he gets better and he comes back.
Dre, Dallas gets embarrassed at home, snaps a 16-game regular season home winning streak 44-19. Are the Saints that good or is Dallas that bad?
Both. Tua's contract, 4 years. I'm on the fence about what Tua should do. I mean, it's like Rod says, it's his decision, but you just don't want to see him, have another concussion. But about the Saints, I think the Saints, we've underestimated the Saints. I feel like they're a better football team than what we gave credit to. We forgot that Derek Carr was that guy in with the Raiders, and Alvin Kamara. I mean, my gosh, where have you been the past like 4 years? You Michael
Oh,
Thomas.
you
I
know what
mean,
he was doing, Dre. He was slapping people.
well, he needs to slap people on the football field because today it worked 4 touchdowns. You keep that up, the Saints will be
That's
marching.
two. He had how many
Now,
today, Dre? You said four. This three.
oh,
Woo.
just
Oh, we got one more.
yeah, I mean, you play like
Ooh,
the way he was
mercy,
playing today.
mercy.
You was playing. If he plays like that, they'll definitely make the playoffs. And about Dallas, like I said, I didn't expect much from Dallas this year anyway because I thought Dallas would miss the playoffs, and I thought that they would let go of both their quarterback and their head coach. But it just seems like the head coaches might go at this point because they done paid Dak surprisingly. And I'll be honest with you, I mean the money they paying Dak, I can't blame him for not turning that down. I would have signed that extension too.
D. Tampa is really good as well in the NFC South. Beat Detroit 2016 playoff rematch. They got it done this time.
That was one of the more underrated
Baker,
games. Yep.
Baker.
He's not Faker. He's Baker. I gotta give it to him. And that was one of the more underrated games in week 2. Detroit shows as well they're a good team, but Tampa Bay's rolling right now. They're doing the right stuff. And them and the Saints right now separate themselves in the NFC South. And NFC North is very difficult, but we'll get into the other teams that won today. At least every team in that division at least got to win.
Yeah, Raj, no Jordan Love, your boy, but they find a way to win with Malik Willis throwing it like 5 times, but they ran the rock and they win 16-10 over Indy.
Yeah, man, I'm shocked. I'm actually shocked. I ain't gonna lie to you. I thought they was gonna lose today, but Malik Willis, held it down for Jordan. Jordan might be ready to come back next week. Hurt his legs doing pretty well. They just, have him sit out this week, but I think he'll be back to practicing next week. So, shout out to Malik Willis, man, for getting it done for the squad. Green Bay got a bright future, man.
If Malik Willis does start next week, they would play Tennessee. I just find that very, very
Ooh,
funny.
his former
And
team.
Dre, speaking of
Interesting.
Tennessee, the Jets beat Tennessee. Aaron Rodgers slowly coming back to what we remember, Duck Dodger. They get a win 24-17. They got the Patriots on Thursday. Look for the Jets to maybe start get rolling a little bit. I know y'all were with Q today.
They should beat both teams. I mean, today they should have beat the Titans. The same reason the Ravens should have beat the Raiders, and definitely they should beat they should beat the Patriots on Thursday. There's no reason. Aaron Rodgers is back. Yes, and the offense. I mean, on paper, the Jets have everything it takes, like the Ravens, in order to get at least into the playoffs and make a huge push. So no surprise there with the Jets.
D, real quick, back to the NFC North. Minnesota with your boy Sam Donald. Fight on, baby. 23-17. Justin Jefferson. My, oh, my.
Yes, indeed. We hope Justin Jefferson's already got hurt in that game with the 49ers and the Vikings. But, the Vikings getting it done, man. 2-0. Sam Donald looking good, baby. And the 49ers, they missed McCaffrey today. I know Mason had another good outing, but McCaffrey does a lot. And Minnesota held Purdy down. And like I said, the NFC North, look out now. It's one of the best divisions in football at the moment.
Raj, Mike McDonald is 2-0. They beat the Patriots in overtime 23-20.
Say that again.
Mike McDonald, former Ravens DC, 2-0, beat the Patriots 23-20 in overtime.
Oh, Seattle. Yeah, I saw that. They went to overtime. Man, I mean, I give all the credit to Mike McDonald, but the Patriots, let's not sleep on them, man. They actually fighting. They fighting hard for their new head coach. Jacoby Brissett is playing his ass off. and that defense is still that good old New England defense. But shout out to Mike McDonald as well because he's 2-0. He's got them fighting. They look a little bit more youthful. And who knows, man? They might go a little bit further than they did with Pete Carroll.
Dre, the Commanders with Jaden Daniels, the Giants can't get right. 21-18, they find a way to win. The Giants kicker gets hurt. Just typical Giants football, I guess. And they lose to the Commanders, who didn't want to win it, but they pulled it out.
I mean, no surprise. I mean, the Giants at this point, where we say the Chargers going to Charger, the Giants going to Giant, and I feel bad for Brian Dable because this is a guy who his first year, you seem like Daniel Jones was making that turn. He gets the extension, and then ever since then, his quarterback can't get right. And if you don't have the quarterback right, then the rest of your team ain't going to be right. So until then, it seemed like both the head coach and this is a situation where the head coach and the quarterback may go because you let go of your best player in Saquon Barkley. And that whole Giants, even front office, you saw that on Hard Knocks, that there's a disagreement between the general manager and the owner. So the whole organization is in turmoil. Brian Dable come back. Shoot, I'd love for you to be our offensive coordinator then because, I mean, my gosh, what's going on with the Giants? It's just, I mean, though it was a close game, it was a divisional game, you still see that. I mean, I'm happy, of course, for the Commanders, but that Giants organization is just maybe more dysfunctional than what the Cowboys and the Raiders have been over the past couple of years right now.
D, how bad is Carolina? Or is Ravens West or the Chargers really that good? 26-3 win. J.K. Dobbins again.
The Panthers are really bad. Bryce Young, after the game, he said he got his confidence in God. Well, I don't know who he's praying to right now, but he needs some divine intervention. He sucks. Panthers suck right now. They don't keep a lot of their drafted players, and they're playing the Piper. As the helicopter here, they're looking for the Panthers right now. See what they can do. But the Chargers, mighty quick, they are being Raven-like. When I see the Chargers, they remind me of the Baltimore Ravens. It's out there on the West Coast. And Dobbins looking good. They're playing physical brand of ball. They're telling Herbert, don't turn over the ball. Don't make mistakes. Just go out there and do your thing and manage the game enough so we can get the job done.
Raj, Deshaun Watson pulls out a win, and Cleveland hangs around, gets a win, gets the 1-1, 18-13 over Tony Khan and those Jacksonville Jaguars.
I mean, love him while you can, Cleveland, because he might not be there for much longer. I think them women are coming back to get him again from 2020. They're supposed to meet with the league pretty soon, so I don't know what's going to happen with Deshaun Watson. But until then, I thought he played pretty well today. Bounce back for Cleveland. Let's see what they do moving forward.
Oh, they get the Giants next week, Rod, so they'll probably be 2-1 potentially. So the AFC North will get more interesting. Dre, Kyler Murray, my boy, and Marvin Harrison Jr., they woke up and they got it right. 100+ yards for Marvin Harrison Jr., 2 touchdowns, and 130 yards?
Man,
the Cardinals, baby, got it done over your Rams, sadly. And here are these thoughts.
What in the world is going on? I mean, I know it's a divisional game, but a 40-burger put on that Rams defense? I mean, I know you're missing Aaron Donald, but geez, Louise. Shocking. I had the Rams winning this football game, but like you said, maybe it's the Cardinals waking up, or maybe it's just because this was just one of those anything can happen in the NFL on any given Sunday. So I'm going to say it like that. I think the Rams are still going to be a good, formidable football team, but it's just I'm just shocked by that score.
The Steelers, the Cockroaches, find a way to win 13-6. Justin Fields looks like he's going to be the guy moving forward, and the defense is probably the best in the league, and they got a pretty good kicker too.
Well, what the Steelers done? They scored 28 points in 2 games, and it's been all field goals. Just about they even scored a touch. Then they scored 1 touchdown today. Finally, I don't know. They're finding ways to win. They're getting it done. The Broncos are still in rookie mode with Knicks. They got a ways to go. And I'm trying to think who the Steelers got next week, Byron, if you know off the top of your head. They might be 3-0 if it's a team that they can muster. It might be the Chargers.
They play the Chargers next week.
They have the Chargers.
I think it is the
Cowboys.
This D is over.
Ooh.
They'll lose next week. If they beat the Chargers next week,
they might be able to beat the Chargers. D, like you said, they can out physical.
I think they can.
If
Looking
they
out
beat the
physical, man.
Chargers,
That's
if
not
they
the case.
beat the Chargers next week, then I'm gonna say the Steelers are for real.
They're going to make Herbert beat him. We're going to see how good Herbert is in this offense next week.
Yep, definitely. And the Chargers got to travel east again for a second week in a row. So that's going to be interesting to see, indeed. But yeah, Steelers, they find ways to win.
And everybody can chime in on this. No surprise. The Tribal Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes find a way to win. They beat the Bengals again after they were yapping like they were just coming off winning the Super Bowl 26-25.
Right.
A penalty at the end, and the Tribal Chiefs win again.
I'll say this:
Acknowledge me.
what's yapping is the guy who cost him today, because if your teammates are coming over to talk to you, your head coach, and you still yapping at the mouth, yes, you're upset about the tackle. You might be upset because of the face mask, but at the end of the day, you got to be able to keep your cool and your composure, because you're taking on the defending champions who have won back-to-back titles, on the search for number 3, and then you know that this is a team you've had a winning record against, yet stupid penalties again, costing them for the second time, which is why they've lost both times. They lost the AFC Championship game because of that stupid late hit on Patrick Mahomes, and then I think that penalty with Jamar Chase, I think that cost them some points too. So at the end of the day, the Bengals are going to Bengal, and the Bengals cost themselves 2 times against the Tribal Chiefs. Yes, Patrick Mahomes is the Tribal Chief. I mean, that's now 23 game-winning drives in his career. But at the end of the day, the media has just raved about the Bengals and Joe Burrow, and he is the only one with a winning record against Patrick Mahomes, and nobody else has done this except Tom Brady and Josh Allen, only ones to get 3 wins over him. But Joe Burrow's the only one with a winning record. And when the Bengals are healthy, they go to the AFC Championship game or they go to the Super Bowl. Enough. Joe Burrow has beaten Patrick Mahomes, yes. But in the AFC, it's a team out there for everybody. The Ravens, we can't get past the Chiefs, but at the end of the day, the Chiefs seem like they in the past haven't gotten past the Bengals, and the Bengals haven't gotten past us. So it's just teams that are just beating each other. I mean, throughout the AFC. So enough with all the talking. Just go out there, play football, and you see what happens when you run your mouth. Just go out there and play.
I don't got nothing to add, really. Drayden said everything that I was going to say. I don't believe in the Bengals. I never had believed in the Bengals. I never had believed in Joe Burrow. Jamar Chase to me is a good receiver, but he's kind of overrated. They're just front runners. So yeah, that's all I really have. We already know what Patrick Mahomes is about. We already know what the organization is about. They own it right now. They own the entire league. They have Taylor Swift on their side. Yeah, that's it.
D, I'll give you the last word on the Chiefs beating the Bengals.
Well, Pachenko was on crutches, the running back for the Chiefs, so he might be out for them. Burrow did have a good game, man. I mean, one thing about it, he shows up when they play the Chiefs, man. I give him that. But same old Bengals, man. They can't get out their own way. But right now, the Ravens and the Bengals are in the same boat right now. So much we talk about both teams, Bengals being bad, the Ravens in the same boat too, man. So we swimming up understream together.
D, how can I keep up with your brother, and what do you have going on? I know you're out and about today.
Yeah, Dice Funny Network on the Twitter. Dice Funny Net, excuse me, on the Twitter, and Dice Funny Network on Facebook, Threads, YouTube, which we got Fall League basketball, high school football, a lot of content coming at you. Check out the page, subscribe, and become a member as well. You become a member, you get videos fresh right before they come out to the rest of the public.
Appreciate you, D. Next week, we'll be here rocking it out again with a late afternoon national TV slate. Is that on Fox? Do we get Brady? We get Brady next week.
We get Brady next week, man. Brady game. I'll be
yes, we get Brady. White Jesus, baby.
I'll be there and listening.
As you should, brother, because we want to hear the voice of the Messiah. Drizzy Dre, tomorrow we open the Flex Zone Forbidden Door for a very, very special guest. Appropriate guest after what happened today.
Yes, sir. It's fitting, right? I can't wait for our special guest. Some special things happening on the Flex Zone. and it's going to be that pick segment is going to be very interesting. I think this was just a bad week for a lot of teams. I think for a lot of teams that we thought were going to be good, didn't. But like I said, I mean, that's the beauty of football. Any given Sunday, but especially the Ravens. My gosh, we'll get into it tomorrow. Though, can't wait. You can always like and subscribe, and we do our post game show. We do wrestling. We do a lot of stuff here. So continue to check us out on this channel. Like I said, like and subscribe to the Flex Zone Podcast.
Last but not least, Big Raj.
Pretty much like subscribe, like Dre said, this is what we do. Got plenty of content coming towards your way. It's gonna be a really fun week. We got to make sure that we console the Ravens fans. It's been brutal. It's been brutal these past couple weeks. So just stay tuned. We got more coming with you. Trippy tomorrow should be on. It should be a very fiery show. So just stay tuned.
Yes, trying to get things set up so we can hopefully broadcast to Trippy's Twitter as well. Get all his people over here as well. So working on that. Raj, you'll be with us next week though for the post game show from Big D.
I'll be there in some form or fashion from the D. And
will you be eating meat in the D?
I'm gonna be eating something. Hopefully some meat. Not just meat, but anyway. I will be indulging in a lot of activities. Yeah.
Oh man, and yeah. Episode was it 458 tomorrow with Trippy, the Ravens superfan. We'll be back next week for Ravens post game show. Big shouts out to Maryland. They got to win. I'll do a Maryland preview this week. They got Villanova. Orioles just can't get right. But we'll be live tomorrow to talk about it. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Leave us a like. Cost you nothing. And make sure you guys subscribe. Leave a comment down below. Vote on the poll for Drizzy Dre, for Big Raj, for DMVD, Diodamis, God's favorite host, signing off. Flex Zone Podcast, only place giving you sports how you want it when you need it, with love, as always. The Flex Zone Podcast, guys. Throw your ones up. Now to head to the sports podcast table. We out of here, y'all. Peace.
Finger licking good special. That's what I'm talking about.
Finish him, Daddy.
Acknowledge me. Who's high?